I'm Richard, and welcome to Richard Tries Things. And today, I'm going to attempt to name all 46 presidents. Now, if I told you yesterday I only knew 10, this is 24 hours later. Now, you're going to have to take my word for that, and you're going to have to believe me that the only thing I've got in front of me is a pen, paper, and my spectacles. You're just going to have to trust me on this and watch my other videos to know that I may be a moron, but I'm not a liar. I thought I was a fan of America. I love the films, I love the music, I'd love to go visit the country, but I looked at two things yesterday. American presidents, I couldn't have even told you there were 46, and American states, which I thought there were 52, but I think that's something from Friends. Anyway, let's get straight into the video. So, I had 24 hours to try and learn the presidents of the United States. Now, I've got longer than that. What I'd like to do is tell you the first and second name, and in order, who was president, and which years they were president, but that's for another video, for a later video. This video is all about, can I name 46 presidents? I'm going to give myself 10 minutes to do so, and I'm going to talk about the rationale as I'm doing it, and I hope it doesn't look as bad on camera. It probably does in my head. Alexa, set timer 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
Actually, listen to me. So, one that I already knew, and I realised he was first president, was George Washington, and I can do both names. He was one of the forefathers, so George Washington is straight onto my list. What I discovered the other day, that the forefathers didn't mean there was just 4 of them. I'm fucking embarrassed about that as well. But the next one would be John Adams, who I think, John Adams, there was 2 John Adams that were president. John Adams was George Washington's vice president. And following on from that was Thomas Jefferson, who was John Adams' vice president. Following on from that was James Madison, who was another forefather. And then following on from that was either John or James Monroe. I'm going to say James Monroe. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. I will have a look. I should probably number these as well. Let me do it in blocks of 10 to try and help myself. I expect to get 40. I'm confident that I'll get 40. I'm not going to do them all in order, but I know those first 5 are in order because I read an article when I was trying to learn it yesterday that they were the first 5 were all the forefathers. I didn't realise that Abraham Lincoln wasn't president until the 16th president. I know that one. And I will put that at 16th. But I knew Abraham Lincoln, of course I knew who Abraham Lincoln was because I'm not that much of an idiot. So, after the first 5 presidents, after Monroe, I'm up to 6 by the way so far. After Monroe was, I don't know if it was in order, but I know there was a Buchanan. I don't know Buchanan's first name. And there was a Tyler. There was a Polk. Again, don't know Polk's name. There was a Polk. I know there's a Coolidge. I'm really sorry to any Americans that watch this video and think that I'm not pronouncing this right. I'm doing my best. I will learn all things America. I will be that annoying English guy that knows more about America than he knows about England. I promise. But not for now. And then Taft. So my first 10 I've got, or 11 because I've got Lincoln as well. Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Buchanan, Tyler, Polk, Coolidge and Taft. I know there's a Grant. I'm doing the ones that I struggled with first. I know there's a McKinley. I know there's Grant, McKinley, Pierce is, I think Pierce was the 14th president because he was a couple before Abraham Lincoln because he was into slavery. I think I read that fact because Abraham Lincoln abolished slavery and was part of the American Revolution. No, American Civil War. I'm learning. The thing is, if I learn facts at the same time as doing it, then it's easier. It makes me retain information more. I know after Abraham Lincoln as well, there was a Johnson. I think that was Andrew Johnson because there was a footballer called Andrew Johnson. And I think there's 2 Johnsons. There was Lyndon B. Johnson, who I think comes much later, but I'm going to put him in there because I retain that. That also reminds me there's a Jackson, and I don't know Jackson's first name. I'm really sorry to anybody who watches and thinks this is really easy. For me, this is hard work. There's also Hayes that comes later, but Hayes, then it was Garfield after Hayes, and then Arthur. I can remember Arthur because my son's called Arthur, so that was nice and easy. So my next 10, not in any order I'm afraid, is Grant, McKinley, Hayes, Pearce, Jackson, Lincoln, Johnson, Andrew Johnson, Lyndon B. Johnson, Garfield, and Arthur. I don't know how to count, but there is 10 there because, trust me, there is. Right, let me write another 21. Alexa, how long left? And she's ignoring me like she normally does. Alexa, how long left?
You have 5 minutes and 20 seconds left on your 10-minute
Okay, we're halfway there. I need to speed this up. I'm going to do modern day presidents next. So going backwards, there's Biden, Trump, easy ones, Obama before that, Bush Jr., Bush Senior. I can do the first names for all these, by the way, but I'm just trying to save time now because I'm panicking. Clinton, who was after that? Carter, Ford, and I need, let's go for the Roosevelt. So it's Theodore Roosevelt. He's part of Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. And there's the other Roosevelt. I'm really sorry, I can't remember what he's called. Right, that's 30. I will recap those in 1 second. Let me just write 31 to 40. So in my, I can't multitask, let me just do this. 39, 40. So I've got Biden, Trump, Obama, Bush Jr., Bush Senior, Clinton, Carter, Ford, Theodore Roosevelt, and his fifth nephew, maybe? Somebody Roosevelt. Alexander Roosevelt? So Eisenhower is another one. Eisenhower. Hoover, like the dam. I've got Taft. Oh, Van Buren. He was one of the first 10. I know that. Van Buren. JFK. I always forget JFK. He's the one that I knew before I started doing this. I always forget JFK. Have I got Reagan, and Nixon. He's another one that I would have got straight away. Nixon is in there. That's 36 at the moment. Got Pierce. Oh, he's getting trouble. Oh, Cleveland. He was the only president to do it twice so far. Groove Cleveland. And then that reminds me, he's twice. Harris. There's two Harrisons as well, and I don't know what that. There was William Henry Harrison that was the shortest president, as in he only served 31 days before he died, and there was another Harrison, and I'm hoping that no one's going to critique me on that because I'm sure there was two Harrisons. I'm 99% sure. Right, I'm moving on really quickly before that timer goes off. I think I've missed Wilson out. Wilson was World War One. There was Truman, because it sounds like the Truman Show. I'm at 42 possibly. Wilson, Truman, Buchanan, Kennedy, Pierce. Shit, this is where it's getting really difficult. This is where I'm going to go like really quiet now and just go into myself. I'm trying to think of all the things I watched yesterday. Now I'm struggling. This is what I get to. I always get to about the 40 mark. That's probably quite slow, but I'm quite pleased with how much I've done so far. The problem is I always do it in different orders, so then I don't think I help myself by mixing it up. And that's why I think it'll be really beneficial when I learn the names in order and in the dates they served and how many terms they did, because then I will learn quicker. So, who else am I missing? I feel like There was a Taylor. There's definitely a Taylor. Tyler's there. I should probably put this on screen for you guys, but my editing software is probably not good enough to do that, so it is what it is, I'm afraid. Please give me a thumbs down. Or if you're new here, please subscribe and like to this channel. If there's any other American challenges, then let me know, because I've got one more after this, which is a state. I feel like I should learn capitals after, but that sounds fucking hard work. Taylor was definitely one. I feel like there's more around sort of the American Civil War. I feel that's when I'm missing some big names. Oh. So frustrating. Dwight Eisenhower. No, Dwight D. Was he Dwight D. Eisenhower? No. Was it? Who was Dwight D? Dwight. Was it Dwight Eisenhower? Truman Wilson. Alexa, how long left?
You have 10 seconds left on your 10-minute timer.
Three to go. McKinley, I've got. I'm defeated. 43. Alexa, timer off. I'm gutted. I thought after 24 hours I would undertake this task. It's slightly less, I'll give myself that. I thought I'd undertake this task and get 46, but I'm really proud of the effort that we've achieved. So I'm just going to recap to see if there's any names that I've got more than once. We've got Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Buchanan, Tyler, Polk, Coolidge, Taft. Fuck, I've got another one, Harding. I've missed Harding. I'm putting it down because I remembered it before. I knew Harding. He's the one that I always forget. Sorry if there's any Harding fans out there. Grant, McKinley, Hayes, Pierce, Jackson, Lincoln, Johnson, Andrew Johnson and Lyndon B. Johnson, Garfield, Arthur, Biden, Trump, Obama, Bush Jr. and Bush Sr., Clinton, Carter, Ford, Theodore Roosevelt and somebody else Roosevelt. Sorry. Eisenhower, Hoover, Van Buren, JFK, Reagan, Nixon, Groove, Cleveland twice, William Henry Harrison, Benjamin Harrison, maybe the other one is. There's someone Harrison, I think it might be Benjamin. Wilson, Truman, Taylor and Harding, and there's two more, and my phone is being used to film this video, so I can't even look. If you like what you see and have watched to the end, then you're a sad person, but I love you for doing it. I've enjoyed doing this. I really enjoyed about learning about the presidents, but there's so much more. I reckon I could probably do 25 of their first names. I'd like to get that down by tomorrow to get everyone's first names, and I think that'll help me retain the information a little bit more. I give myself until next Sunday to complete this challenge to know all the presidents in order, with the first and second names. Bonus if I know their middle names as well. I'm not going to be able to do the dates at that point. I'm not going to set myself that task. If I get to there, then I'll keep trying, but I'm more just going to see if I can retain information and if I can name events. So I know that Lincoln was to do with abolishing slavery, so I could do that. I could tick that off. I know that the first five were all to do with the forefathers and the American Revolution. I know that Grant pardoned somebody. Was it Grant pardoned Nixon? I think. Or was that Ford? That could be George. No. That's a rugby player. Somebody. I think it was Ford or Grant. I think it was Ford. Pardoned Nixon. And I know that William Henry Harrison was 31 days in office, and Groove Cleveland was the first person. Is it Groove? Cleveland was the first person to serve in office at two separate occasions. Trump obviously could do the same coming up in the next elections. JFK there was four that were assassinated. There were 4 that died in office, and there was 1 that resigned. Mrs. Nixon, is that right? But yeah, any cool bits of information or any videos I could watch, any books I can read, just to try and retain some of that information, but I need it sooner rather than later. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and like this video, and I'll see you on the next one.